You know, some numbers are just so big they almost don't feel real. And some lies are so massive they stretch across decades, fooling experts, regulators, and thousands of people who just wanted to believe. Well, this is the story of the biggest financial fraud in history, and it all comes down to one absolutely staggering number: $64.8 billion. That's the size of the hole that was left when the world's largest Ponzi scheme just completely collapsed. A fraud on a scale that's hard to even wrap your head around, and it was all orchestrated by just one man, Bernard L. Madoff. For years, that name, Madoff, was a gold standard. It meant success, safety, and these incredible, steady returns. But, behind that whole curtain of legitimacy, there was a really simple, devastating lie. And the question that has haunted Wall Street ever since is, really, how did he do it? How did he build this massive house of cards? And maybe more importantly, why were so many smart people so willing to help him keep it standing? Well, to get the crime, you first have to get the man. See, Bernie Madoff wasn't just some common crook. He was a full-blown Wall Street icon. And his story wasn't one of old money or privilege. No, this was the story of a scrappy outsider who clawed his way to the absolute top. Madoff always had this chip on his shoulder. He felt like he wasn't part of that established Wall Street club. He saw himself as a market maker. One of the guys who makes the market function by buying and selling securities. He once said, "I was perfectly happy to take the crumbs." But, as we're about to see, those crumbs, they built an empire. Just think about this progression. In 1960, he's starting with just $5,000 he made as a lifeguard. By the late 80s, his totally legitimate business is a pioneer in electronic trading, and it's a powerhouse. And then by 1990, he is the establishment. He's running the NASDAQ, the very exchange he helped create. The outsider was now the ultimate insider. And you can just feel it in his own words here, right? He was intoxicated by it all. The power, the respect, this head trip, as he called it. It gave him this aura of being completely untouchable. And that became the perfect cover for his crime and the perfect bait for his victims. Okay, so with this ironclad reputation as a Wall Street genius, Madoff builds this fraudulent investment business on the side. And the engine that powered this whole lie, well, it was brilliantly deceptive in its psychology, but you'll see it was shockingly simple in how it actually worked. All right, so first things first, what even is a Ponzi scheme? Look, it's not some complex investment strategy. It's just theft. It's robbing Peter to pay Paul. You take money from new victims, you use it to pay off the early ones, and you create this illusion of profit until, inevitably, the new money dries up. And this slide right here just lays it all out. The huge gap between the story and the truth. On one hand, Madoff was telling investors about this super sophisticated split-strike conversion strategy. It sounded so complex, it had to be brilliant, right? But the reality? Zero trading. Nothing. He was just moving cash around a single bank account at Chase. No stocks, no options, nothing. So the big question is, how did he keep the lie going for so long? Well, he was a master at playing on basic human emotions. First, his returns weren't crazy high. They were just incredibly consistent, which calmed people's fear of the market's ups and downs. Second, he made it exclusive. He'd actually turn people away, which only made them want in more. And finally, that huge, legitimate trading firm he ran, it gave his dirty little side business the ultimate stamp of approval. But come on, somebody had to have noticed something was wrong. Regulators, competitors, auditors. Where was everybody? This is where the story takes a really chilling turn. Turns out, the warnings were there the whole time, pretty much hiding in plain sight. 5. That's how many times the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the top financial cop in the US, investigated or examined Madoff's business between 1999 and 2005. And every single time, they came up with nothing. And it's not like people weren't screaming about it. There was this investigator, Harry Markopolos, who spent years trying to warn the SEC. This, right here, this is from an email he sent them in 2007. It's a hauntingly accurate prediction of exactly what was about to happen. And it was ignored. The red flags were everywhere if you knew what to look for. Really sophisticated firms saw that the options market wasn't even big enough for the trades he claimed he was making. Other hedge fund pros knew his track record was just impossible. But maybe the most absurd red flag of all, the guy was using a tiny 3-person accounting firm in a strip mall to audit a multi-billion-dollar operation. It just made zero sense. So why? Why didn't the SEC do anything? Well, their own internal investigation after the fact used this absolutely brutal analogy. The agency had a checklist mentality. They were so focused on the tiny, insignificant details, the clocks being fast, that they completely missed the massacre right in front of them. They never asked the big, simple question, hey, are these trades even real? You know, for a scheme that absolutely has to have a constant flow of new money, any big disruption can be fatal. And in 2008, well, the entire global financial system was about to face the ultimate disruption. When the markets crashed in 2008, investors everywhere panicked. They wanted their cash, and where did they turn first? To what they thought was their safest, most reliable investment, Bernie Madoff. The requests to pull money out started pouring in. $7 billion. That's the amount in withdrawal requests that hit Madoff's desk as the crisis got worse. It was a tidal wave he just couldn't handle because the money wasn't invested. It was already gone, paid out to other investors years ago. The well of new money had gone completely dry, and the whole thing just imploded. In a last, desperate move, Madoff confessed to his two sons, telling them his whole prestigious investment business was, quote, all just one big lie. They did the only thing they could do. They turned him in. So the man is gone, but his story, it exposes this permanent vulnerability, not just in our financial system, but inside all of us. It shows how easily we can be swayed by prestige, how much we crave certainty in a chaotic world, and just how dangerous blind trust can be. It really makes you ask, what unbelievable stories are we choosing to believe today?